Greetings and salutations, Earthlings. Zube here. So I came to Colorado and I didn't bring anything but my regular jet. And it won't leave me alone about doing some sort of reading. So what I'm going to do is really kind of cool. And I haven't done one in a while. Because if you've ever had a reading by me or like watched or pick a card, I usually do a mix and match deal with tarot and oracle and all of that stuff. But I'm going to do a Celtic Cross. And this is just going to be general. And really, I'm just going to see what happens. And I hope that after this, they leave me alone. So I'm gonna try to do this like as across the board as possible with multiple meanings of the cards and impressions that might come to me. What a Celtic Cross is, it's a 10 card spread. So first card, Six of Wands. This card represents you, okay? Now, because this is a general reading, be open-minded as to where you actually fall. So we're going to say this is like the situation or the person. And the Six of Wands is a reminder to acknowledge accomplishments along the way. I think I'm going to pull them all and then sort of go through them as they come out. We got the Knight of Wands as the crossing card. The Cups. This the below the surface. Recent past, Five of Pentacles. Whew, what is above? Three of Swords. Future. Page of Cups. Near future. Three of Pentacles. How others view you. Ooh, whoa, the High Priestess. That's a good one. Hopes and fears. And then the final outcome. All right. So the first two cards I'm going to talk about, these make total sense to me. So we have the Knight of Pentacles, which is covering the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands represents the person or the situation at the center or the core of whatever this fucking reading is about. I don't know, you tell me. I'll tell you what all the cards mean. And the Six of Wands are fire, that's passion, and also be fire signs. I'm not really going to get into the astrology stuff because all the signs are represented here. But so this man in this tarot card is in a parade, right? the Six of Wands. So each suit is a journey. So he's not at the end of the journey. That would be the Ten of Wands, but he's like, he's gotten over the middle of it. He's at the Six, and the story behind the card is that he and the other knights have won a battle, but the war is not over. However, he knows that for morale, they should celebrate. So they went into town and they're having a parade. Okay. And what this card indicates is a need to like pat yourself on the back, give yourself some credit, say, look, you know, we've gotten this far. Let's acknowledge everything that we've accomplished and gotten through, so that we can boost ourselves to continue going. The card that goes like this is called the crossing card. And that is what is sort of preventing that card from happening, or like the problem card. The Knight of Pentacles, Pentacles are earth energy. And this card is the hardest working card in the deck. So we're working very diligently towards something. This can be anything, like, you know, whether it's work, whether it's on working on your home, working on a relationship. Again, this is a general reading, general energies. Be open-minded about what that can look like. The way that I read cards is that I know you know what's up, whether you know it or not. So I give people a lot of credit for their own inner wisdom and what in this reading is going to be meaningful or significant to you. But anyway, so we are working hard. He is the slowest moving card, or he's of the knights, right? This is just the energy of slow, hard work. It doesn't always look productive immediately. The story behind this card is that he has planted this whole field. My depth got all fucked up. He's planted this field, right? And his horse isn't moving. So if other people were to look at him, they might be kind of like, what's that guy doing just standing around? But he has toiled over this field, and now he knows that he has to wait for it and nurture it and maintain it for it to grow to what it is ultimately going to be. So, something that came through with this. Acknowledge your own efforts, because maybe you have been working on something that the finality of it cannot be seen by others. And so, you know, there's nothing for others to congratulate you for. You have to kind of be your own cheerleader. This can also be like working so hard that we're forgetting to acknowledge our hard work and how far we've come. I reserve the right to go back to those if I want to. We have that card is what is below the surface, okay? Below the surface, we have the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is mourning things that have fallen over. Cups are water energy. So that's our emotions. It's also kind of love, but basically things that we find emotionally fulfilling. Well, some cups have filled, but there are cups still behind you. So when I'm looking at this in terms of something that you've been working on, maybe there are bits or pieces or parts that have not worked out. I'm almost feeling that like, because it's under the surface, we might not even be aware. Maybe we're feeling insecure because we've been working on something and some of it has not worked out, and we're like, can I really do this? And that's why it's important for you to acknowledge how far you've come. He does still have two cups standing behind him though. So it's a reminder to stay in gratitude for what for what you still have. And that is under the surface. So it's something that you might not be aware of. So what I'd gotten from that one is insecurity. It's about past failures, parts of what we are trying to accomplish, whether it's in a relationship, in a house, in, work, or our path or whatever. have not worked, have not worked out in the past. And so it might have us questioning ourselves a little bit. And while we are thrown into this work, we have the past, and this covers usually about 3 months. Whenever I do a Celtic Cross, we have a past card and a future card. And so in the past, there was this card is lack mentality. These two are huddled up and they are trudging through the snow and they're just not looking good. One of them's on crutches, one is barefoot, and they are passing by a church in a snowstorm, but they don't realize they're passing by a church, right? And what this implies is that sometimes when we're so huddled up in our lack, in our fear, in our not having, or like, woe is me, they're passing by a church without realizing that they could probably go in and get alms, they could go in and get warm, they can go in and connect to spirit, and connect to other people. So it's just kind of interesting because when I look at these together, in the past, we might have been creating from fear or lack. And right now, we should be acknowledging our accomplishments, right? But we might be just throwing ourselves into work, and forgetting to give ourselves the kudos to continue forward. What is known, the Three of Swords. Three of Swords is heartbreak. It's also the healing process. We are healing something. So this could even be a healing journey that we're on, right? There's a lot of woe is me energy in these cards here until we get to the future, okay? As we move into the future, when I'm looking at the other cards, we are moving forward, but we need to stop and show gratitude for what we have done so far, okay? Whether it's, working on certain destructive patterns that we have, looking at this is limiting beliefs, limiting thoughts about ourselves, negative self-talk. Just being really down and hard on ourselves. So while what is known is there is heartbreak. So there has been pain from the past that is known to us, right? In the future, so this is 3 months into the future, because like I said, I do these sort of a 6-month kind of time frame. We have the Page of Cups. The cups are, again, emotional. Pages are childlike energy. So this is moving into the future. Pages represent new beginnings. They can also indicate receiving a message, receiving an offer, receiving a gift. This makes me think of friendships. We might be making connections. The cups are water energy. That's about connecting to other people. So moving into the future, we are looking to make emotional connections, to be open to receiving new beginnings. There's a fish poking his head out at, this kid. So it's like appreciating the small things, right? Because that's how we can turn our focus around to the positive. I mean, you're going from the past is this. These people are old and tired of shit, right? And like maybe some of us are just fucking old and tired of shit. However, that is not a good place to create from. Here, reigniting our inner child, okay? Reigniting this curiosity. The pages they're noobs, right? Being childlike in our approach to things and being open to possibilities of what might emotionally fulfill us. He's like looking at these 3 cups and they spilled over, but these behind him could be other opportunities that he's missing because he's kind of crying over what spilled right here. This is the immediate future. That card was like 3 months into the future, the Page of Cups. This is the immediate future. So that would be like next couple weeks or so. The Three of Pentacles, I literally call this the coworker card, but it can also be friends. But this is making connections, right? What I love about this card is that this man is an apprentice and he has a great idea, right? And he's pitching it to the master architects, and they're listening to him intently. So another meaning behind this card is that you don't like write off an idea or something as because you think you're dumb or you think someone else is dumb or they can't possibly know that or I can't possibly be right. It's kind of honoring all opinions and all thoughts or all suggestions, or again, this is where it gets kind of into whatever this reading is about for you, if it's for you. But listening for things that might come in and not patently writing them off, right, without taking them into consideration. And then how others view you. The High Priestess. The High Priestess is a really powerful card. She follows her intuition. She is about going within and finding what is right with our soul, right? Knowing that we have what it takes and believing that we can move forward into the future, but finding it within. And, you know, just trusting your gut, trusting your intuition. So maybe, I'm going to get back to her. That one's interesting. In the hopes and fears, we have the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is fear and worry. So it's like, there's a lot of worry and fear in this reading. And it's like, we want to be hopeful because this card indicates hopes and fears, right? But we're afraid to be hopeful. This can literally mean kind of losing sleep. It's like we've moved so far in one direction and perhaps now there's a pivot, or there's an obstacle or something like that. And we're pissed off because the pivot or the obstacle is really like a game changer. And so maybe the game is changing and we're right here at this precipice of having to move forward. And it's like, oh, I feel that. I feel that in this reading. It's like, I want to be hopeful, but I was already hopeful. And so I started doing this shit and then this shit didn't work. And so now I'm supposed to be hopeful about some other cups that are behind me or some, you know, other new turn or new idea or new aspect of this thing that I thought I had all figured out. We never have everything all figured out. We just don't. Maybe that's kind of what we're learning right now, is that we just don't have everything all figured out. The final outcome card, and I always explain this is not the final outcome card, very much so, because this is not a final outcome card. This is kind of like, we've got to find balance. It's trying to keep things in order. I always think of 3D and 5D, if you're into that crazy woo-woo stuff like me. When I see this card, it's like trying to balance two different worlds, trying to balance our finances, trying to balance our relationship and ourselves, you name it. It can be two things, or it can just be trying to balance a whole bunch of things, right? But he's juggling. Why am I looking at these ships behind him in the distance? Ah, oh my God. Okay. It's funny because sometimes when I'm doing a reading, I'll catch something in one of the cards that is like, look at me, because for some reason, like, you're supposed to talk about me. And, you know, I could have done like 20 readings and not really paid attention to it, but see how these ships are back here up on these big ass waves, right? Like there's a bunch of waves all around, and this guy is focusing on his two pentacles. Okay. So there are these waves crashing. There's this big boat. I don't know. That looks scary, but I'm imagining like people are screaming. Who knows? And he's focused on what he has to juggle. He doesn't have time to worry, right? You know, when you watch people who juggle, they're like, they're just moving. And if somebody's like, hey, or whatever, I mean, unless they're really, really good, you're going to distract them. This is like not being distractible. Because when we're focused on something, it can be easier for this worry not to creep in. It's still going to come in. I want to pull some more cards, but I want to take another look back over all these. Connect with people. It's like this, you know, 3 months into the future, these new offers, new connections, messages, gifts, and then this in the immediate future. This is earth energy. So that's encountering new people, trying new things, joining a new group, going out with somebody that you had never really met before, like encountering new people, listening to new ideas. Others view you. I think people are watching you right now. People are watching you right now. And whether you know it or not, they see you. Wow. So maybe you're, oh, this guy's stoic too, right? This guy is stoic. So this could be for some of you that you're not out whooping it up, right? And celebrating. And this may not be about like going out and throwing a parade for whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, because you may be trying to accomplish it stoically and quietly. And other people see your journey and they consider you someone who is very intuitive and wise. The high priestess is very wise. Interesting. Let me clarify this. The Three of Swords. We got the Page of Wands. We have two pages here. We have a lot of novice energy. Pages are beginners. Sometimes it can be feeling insecure about something that we're doing. Or like, what the heck, I'm 46 years old. I'm just using my age for giggles. I shouldn't be starting over again or at the beginning of this, or I don't want to look stupid because I'm older. But the wands are fire. So that's kind of like something got our heart started. And then we started with this innocent flame, like we maybe trusted ourselves and then got brokenhearted, or it got cut short, or it didn't work out. And now we're feeling a little bit defeated. But here, yeah, whatever you learned in that process is still valuable, okay? And you're at 6. You're not starting over. You are at 6. You have learned valuable lessons. And here, he has planted things and he's waiting for them to grow. So maybe you have to pivot, but there's still seeds that you've planted. how others view you. High Priestess. You could also be very spiritually connected. You know, that's the High Priestess is. So you might be a very spiritual person in this journey of the cards that we're going through right here. Like maybe on the outside, people are like, holy shit, they've got it figured out. They've got it all together. And on the inside, you're like, what the fuck am I doing? And that's okay. To clarify the High Priestess, I got the 10 of Cups. Like other people see you as like going out and fulfilling your dreams, pursuing what you want, pursuing the relationship you want, the house that you want, the situations that you want, like getting your shit together. The Knight of Pentacles is the producer, like he produces shit. So whatever it is that you're working on, you've come a long way to come from this energy. Just don't look at any fear that you might be carrying around with you under the surface that you might not be aware of, because that's kind of this unknown here, the subconscious. Remember to be grateful. But gosh, it's almost like you don't know how fucking awesome you are. Like you're second guessing yourself or doubting yourself. Keep moving, keep moving. Keep just juggle everything that you can, keep everything that you have in balance. Maybe there are external things that are trying to distract you and you don't have time for that right now. I'm going to clarify this Two of Pentacles. And then I'm going to do wow, Justice. She's got the scales also. Balance. I mean, the scales are balanced. What you have planted will grow. Okay. Maybe if you have had struggles, maybe not all of it, but you haven't wasted any time. You haven't wasted any effort. And I'm getting a sense here that whoever this reading is for might be feeling like, oh, have I wasted time? Like, was my effort worth it? I should just give up now. Like, this is totally a don't quit before the miracle happens reading. Like, balance will be restored. There will be like justice for your efforts. That's really cool. I hadn't done a Celtic Cross reading in quite some time. If you are interested in a personal reading, my information is down below. If that didn't resonate with you, that's okay. I just felt like doing it. It's for somebody, I'm telling you, because I've been getting like hammered with it and I've never done one like this. So that's kind of weird. I didn't even bring my cards here except for my tarot because I like to, you know, mess around with those. But because I was like, no readings while I'm in Colorado for Christmas, but I done did it. Anyway, hope you have a great day on Earth. Peace. Namaste.